you do have one guy who, yeah, he's smaller, but he's a top fighter. He can punch, and he's fighting a guy who's not a top pro fighter, who's bigger.
I can see Tank just outboxing him and making it real easy.
Tank Davis is a violent human being. He's a savage, and he didn't feel in his element. It's a real thing. It's a real thing. If you're from the hood, you will know.
Veteran fighters and boxing insiders are already weighing in, and most agree Jake Paul is stepping into dangerous territory. According to Shakur Stevenson, the size gap that many think gives Jake an edge could actually work against him once the bell rings. Stevenson broke it down simply: Tank's precision, timing, and fight IQ are on another level. Jake's bigger, sure, he explained, but that doesn't mean he's better. Size won't save you when the other guy's that sharp. He went on to predict that Gervonta Davis won't waste energy chasing a knockout. Instead, Tank will pick Jake apart round by round, controlling the pace, landing clean counters, and putting on a technical masterclass. Stevenson's take? Jake might be strong enough to stay on his feet, but not skilled enough to stay in the fight. When it's all over, Tank wins comfortably, not by power, but by pure dominance.
Between these two guys,
I mean, size will play some part of the fight, but if I'm thinking like I'm Tank, I'm probably just gonna go out there and try to outbox him and use my knowledge and IQ against him. So I can see Tank just outboxing him and making it real easy.
is there any way you could, any realistic or legitimate way in your mind you could see Jake Paul winning a fight against Tank?
No.
No way.
Nope.
Not a lot of people have talked about Jake and said he's got good power. Not even and I get anything could technically happen, but you don't even see a realistic shot where he could land one big punch, and Tank being so much smaller, he just can't handle the power.
Nah, not at all. I think Tank is he's been boxing his whole life. He's been boxing since a kid, so I doubt like that's gonna be an issue or problem. I think Jake is good for where he's at, but I think it's just levels.
Do you see a more likely chance that Tank wins by decision or by knockout?
By decision. I mean, that guy's too big. I don't think that he's just going to knock that guy out. So I see him like outboxing him.
Could you see a realistic possibility where Tank could knock him out? Although more likely that it is, like you just said, a decision.
Nah, I don't see him knocking him out, no.
Will you watch, Shakur? I mean,
no.
Obviously, no?
Hell no. Nah, that ain't really like... I mean, like I said, here's the thing. Like, I got two sides of me when it comes down to I got a business side, then I got a competitor side. And from the competitive aspect, it don't excite me for me to be like, okay, I want to watch it.
Showbiz the Adult, the outspoken YouTuber and boxing analyst, made it clear that Gervonta "Tank" Davis has already proven he can dismantle bigger, stronger opponents. He reminded fans of Tank's dominant win over Ryan Garcia, a fighter who wasn't just taller, but also quicker and more explosive. Despite those advantages, Tank adapted, found his rhythm, and closed the show with clinical precision. Showbiz argued that if Davis could neutralize Ryan, a legitimate boxer with real pedigree, then Jake Paul should be no different. Jake's size might look good on paper, he said, but paper doesn't fight back. According to him, boxing isn't about who's taller or heavier, it's about who controls distance, manages timing, and reads their opponent. And in those departments, Tank is elite. Showbiz emphasized that Davis has mastered the art of baiting movement, setting traps, and striking the moment an opening appears. Once Jake steps into that ring, he predicted, those instincts will take over, and Tank will show exactly why skill beats size every single time.
Emotionally, see if he's rattled. See, when it's all said and done, the whole talking shit goes out the window. Jake's scared. And let me tell you this too. I looked at that, I'm sizing them up. I'm looking at Tank and Jake, and I'm looking at them. Tank can reach him too. He reached Ryan Garcia. He reached Mario Barrios. I was like, he ain't gonna be able to reach him. He's gonna reach him. He's gonna reach him. I saw Tank's gonna reach him. He knows he's gonna reach him. Listen, I want to say this too. Funny as hell. Before I say all this, Alicia Bumgardner, shout out to you, girl. I couldn't believe out of all the women to be the first one to do 3 minute, 12 rounds is Alicia Bumgardner. And I really know if I have a great endurance, great stamina, and she's doing this shit. Shout out to Alicia Bumgardner. Because, what's her name? Layla? I don't really know her like that. But she looks like she ain't rattled by Alicia. So that's a perfect dance partner for that. Try to drag Alicia Bumgardner into lake water, see what's going on with that. Shout out to Alicia Bumgardner. But let's get back to Tank. First of all, Tank knows what he's doing. Tank Davis, he said, what he was just making all these implications that it's going to be scripted. When he said, "You're paying me," and then he was like, "Yo, you're going to have to give me extra," and then he said that this is scripted.
At the end of the day, I gave this little guy an opportunity. He should be thanking me. I'm paying him. I'm his boss. He reports to me, and I'm going to fucking son him on November 14th. So fuck you, little man.
You paying me? Are you paying me?
Yeah.
100%. 100%. Facts?
Correct.
Yes? Correct?
Correct. I'm your daddy.
40.
Former world champion and analyst Chris Algieri gave high praise to Gervonta "Tank" Davis, crediting him for reigniting excitement in modern boxing every time he steps into the ring. Algieri explained that the sport has evolved. It's no longer just about skill or belts, but about who can fill arenas and capture the world's attention. And in that sense, Tank has become the face of a new era. Whenever Tank fights, it's an event, Algieri said. He brings energy, emotion, and that big fight feel that boxing desperately needs. From hardcore fans to casual viewers, Davis has managed to bridge the gap, creating a rare kind of crossover appeal that few fighters today can match. Interestingly, Algieri also gave credit to Jake Paul, noting that while he may not possess Tank's technical brilliance, he's played a major role in drawing new eyes to the sport. Jake's blend of entertainment and ambition has pulled in an audience that boxing hadn't reached in years. In Algieri's view, both men, in completely different ways, are helping keep boxing alive. Tank represents the pure fighter who delivers action and excellence, while Jake symbolizes the modern showman who brings the spotlight. Together, they've helped turn boxing back into must-watch entertainment.
About the face of boxing could be Jake Paul soon, and the
face
of boxing is basically. Yeah, the face of boxing now is based on if you sell and if people tune in and how many eyes are tuning in when you fight. Gervonta Davis had that. Jake Paul has that. Now they're fighting each other.
Again, these are created products. These are still created products. Jake made his name going to Walgreens and making funny faces. You know what I mean? And it was just blowing up on YouTube and whatnot, right? I mean, that's how he started.
The world we live in now, dude. It's unfortunate. Okay, it's not like Sugar Ray Leonard, who was the best fighter in the world and marketable. It's not like Oscar De La Hoya, who was a gold medalist, a great fighter and marketable.
But what I'm saying is technology allows us to make, if I want to take this shoe off right here, and I say I want to make my Nike sneaker into the best product possible, and I got enough money to push it behind it. I put it all over your social media platform, and I put it all over your TV set, and all over your phone, and all over. You know what, bro? You're gonna start to get curious about this.
Commentator Charleston White didn't hold back when giving his take on Jake Paul's rise in boxing, calling it entertainment dressed up as competition. In his view, Jake's entire career has been built on spectacle rather than substance. White argued that none of Paul's bouts have carried the authenticity or danger of a true professional fight. Instead, he sees them as carefully staged showcases, crafted to generate clicks, headlines, and pay-per-view revenue. According to White, Jake has yet to face a legitimate, elite-level boxer capable of pushing him beyond his comfort zone, someone who would truly expose his limitations in skill, timing, and endurance. It's a sentiment echoed by many boxing purists who feel Paul is gaming the system, using boxing as a platform for fame instead of treating it as a craft to be mastered. White went a step further, saying that if Jake ever steps into the ring with Gervonta "Tank" Davis, the difference will be undeniable. Tank's training, his reflexes, his experience against world champions, it's not even the same sport, White said. He believes that once Jake faces a fighter of Davis's caliber, the illusion will shatter. For White, the message is simple: exhibition fights may build buzz, but only real wars in the ring build legends.
YouTube boxing and what people say is going on in the media, without a doubt, I think Charleston White is 100% right about that. Don't believe anything you hear. Don't believe anything you see. Wait to see how things play out, and ultimately everything will come out in the wash. Well, going into this fight with Gervonta Davis, I had my concerns about the fight because of the same type of reasoning that Charleston White used, except for mine is slightly different. I don't think that either one of these guys are going to try to do too much damage to each other. Number one, because if it's scripted, which more than likely to an extent it will be, Gervonta Davis is not going to put himself in a situation where Jake Paul is going to actually be able to hurt him. And with these 12-ounce gloves on top of Gervonta Davis's hands, which is bigger, 2 ounces bigger, I do believe.
Legendary trainer and commentator Teddy Atlas weighed in on the potential showdown between Jake Paul and Gervonta "Tank" Davis, drawing a sharp comparison to the time Jake's brother, Logan Paul, faced Floyd Mayweather. In Atlas's eyes, the matchup follows a familiar pattern, a physically larger fighter stepping into the ring with a far more skilled technician. And, he says, the outcome will likely look the same, experience triumphing over size. Atlas described Tank Davis as a dancer, a fighter who doesn't just move, but commands the rhythm and flow of every exchange. He explained that Tank's entire career has been built on facing dangerous, unpredictable opponents, forcing him to develop elite instincts and adaptability that few fighters possess. He doesn't just fight, Atlas noted, he orchestrates. By contrast, Atlas believes Jake Paul lacks the timing, ring IQ, and awareness that separate seasoned professionals from entertainers. Boxing isn't about who's bigger, Atlas said. It's about who can control the moment. Every step Tank takes, every punch he throws, it's calculated, it's purposeful. To Atlas, that's the defining difference. Jake might have the muscle and reach, but Tank owns the rhythm, and in boxing, the fighter who controls the rhythm controls the fight.
I liked this when I heard it. No, I didn't like it, to be honest, for the optics and everything else I just said. But you do have one guy who, yeah, he's smaller, but he's a top fighter, he can punch, and he's fighting a guy who's not a top pro fighter, who's bigger. What if he hits him on the chin? What if he hits him on the chin? It'll wind up selling. And that's what'll wind up selling it. The what if. What if Tank makes him do a cha-cha? He hits him on the chin, and Jake Paul, we're going to find out if he can dance. Whoa, 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 whoa. You know, do the cha-cha. That's what's going to sell it. And you can't argue that what if. You can't. I know I get to places that other people won't go and everything else, that just dismiss stuff because it's easier to do that. It's safer to do that. You don't have to bows and arrows coming at you from people that argue with you because you did that. But I don't care. I've had bows and arrows my whole life. I don't care. But that's true. That what if? What if this guy who is a real good puncher, who is one of the best fighters in the world right now, what if he hits him? What if he makes a miss and he counters him? Or he jumps up in the air. Bang!
Showbiz the Adult also weighed in on Gervonta Tank Davis's demeanor outside the ring, offering insight into what truly sets him apart. He acknowledged that Tank may not be the smoothest talker or the flashiest self-promoter, but that's not where his power lies. Tank's confidence, Showbiz explained, comes from a lifetime of surviving and thriving in tough environments, places where grit mattered more than words. According to Showbiz, you can read Tank's mindset without him ever saying a thing. Watch his body language at press conferences, he said. He doesn't flinch, doesn't fold, doesn't force it. He's calm, locked in, and always in control. That quiet composure, he added, is what intimidates opponents long before the first punch is thrown. Showbiz contrasted that with Jake Paul's approach, noting that Jake thrives on media strategy, viral moments, and carefully crafted narratives. But with Tank, there's no script, no act. His presence alone commands attention. Jake sells fights with words, Showbiz said, but Tank sells them with silence. His aura doesn't need promotion, it speaks for itself.
Tank Davis is a violent human being. He's a savage. And he didn't feel in his element. It's a real thing. It's a real thing. If you're from the hood, you will know. It's kind of like taking a guy from the block and putting him in the corporate world in a business meeting. He's going to be so out of his element that he's just, he doesn't even know how to argue without sounding like, I'm going to whoop your ass, I'm going to beat you. The way Jake was doing things, he had the clowns coming out.